Sabra Johnson, good morning. I'm at Hockley, Texas City Classic Cars. That's right outside of Houston, Texas. And I want to talk to you, consumers, enthusiasts, and car collectors. I want to educate you and help you have a greater experience when you start using the term restoration. What I find is that about 80% of the individuals who reach out to us, and listen, we understand that we have a rabid fan base. We have individuals who absolutely love us, and I'm honored. I thank you for that. And what I'm also seeing is that the consumer today of our product, the lover of our product, the collector of our product, the aftermarket restoration segment, they really don't understand restoration. They don't understand what it takes to take a car from step A to step Z, and why K and L and everything in between is so very, very important, and why we speak in terms of time. Now, one of the reasons that this is such a miseducation is because we come from a consumer world, say the collision car community. We understand that if you go, your insurance company makes the company give them a fixed price. Once they give them a fixed price, you know exactly how much it costs. So if you go to a repair center, there's all kind of software out there that allows us as professionals to estimate how much this could be. A reasonable professional should get it done in this period of time. And so they give you a firm fixed price on that as well. Well, if you go to the dealer, brand new car, doesn't matter if it's a Maserati, Ferrari, or a Cadillac, or a Ford truck, or a Hyundai, they pretty much give you a final fixed price, all things being equal. And so it's hard for you to wrap your mind around how in this world, why is that not the case? Well, what I want you to view that what we're doing is we have levels of service. Think about an airplane. So you sit on the back seat of the airplane, you're in the cheapest section of the airplane, and you pay $500. It's tight on your legs. They may not have a certain port for your phone. So then they say, well, we have one with extended legroom. Same plane, going to the same destination. You don't have to sit in that seat, but if you sit in that seat, there's a little bit more benefits. So then you get the leg room, and that costs a little bit more. And then they say, wait a minute, we have another section. It's called first class. And you can sit in first class, and you're going to get this and this. But all three passengers are on the same plane. They're using the same fuel. They're using the same pilot. And they're traveling to the same destination. They're going to get their bags off the same tarmac. But it's a matter of what experience you want to have. And that's more likened to what restoration is about. Restoration is about, hey, we are artists. We are creative at what we do. And really, you as the consumer, you determine a little bit of how creative we can be. The second part that determines how creative we can be, it's the condition of your car. So the scope of work, what is it you desire to do? And the condition of your car, these two combining together, they're going to kind of dictate what your final price might end up being. So I'll give you a chart here. So when you look at this chart, let's deal with resto mods. A lot of clients, they just don't understand the price point. So this is a full restoration. This is a full restoration, but this is a restoration with parts that were not originally in your car. So it's going to take some level of fabrication, some level of fitment, some level of adjustment. These parts aren't going to fit quite like these parts. This is a factory correct. So our timeline can be a little low here, but here you're just going to have more time involved. So generally speaking, it's going to be hard for me to give you a resto mod where the ticket of labor is going to be less than 1,500 hours. Look at the ticket of labor. This is labor. So we don't charge $100 an hour, but let's say if we did, that's $150,000 in labor. You still have to buy your parts. So when you start talking about resto modding in a full restoration sense, this gets really, really expensive, and this is just labor. So, but look at what this range can be. So what's the difference between a car that's 1,500 hours and a car that's 3,000 hours? What is the difference? Because see, that's double. So a lot of people have this misnomer that when you tell us your budget, or we're going to try to do everything we can to consume your budget. No, we're asking you, what's your investment capacity? If you don't have the capacity to invest $3,000, then 3,000 hours, then my professional team tries to devise a strategy and a plan of action. Not saying we're going to guarantee you at this number, but there's certain avenues that we approach. It's going to take your car in that direction. It's just the way we approach it. Certain parts, when you start talking about you want the best of the best Art Morrison chassis, well, it's like $50,000. And now you want an LS3 or maybe you want a 441, and with that you want turbos. They just keep adding to the price. And so a lot of times we have clients where they've had to, instead of getting an LS, they'll say, you know what, I'll get a 350. Instead of getting an Art Morrison chassis, some of them say, you know what, let's use Ride Tech, modify the chassis I have. And those are decisions that we help you make. It's ultimately your decision. But I really want you to understand that in our world, that price point dictates the ability that you can have. If I give you a real life illustration or an example, think of a caterer. So you go to a caterer and you tell them you have $15 per person, and you want to have this wedding and you want to cater your food, but you have $15 per person. Well, you're not getting lobster. You're not getting filet mignon. So you may get a baked ham, you may get a turkey, or you may get chicken, but there's you still have options, but your options are within a certain category of scope, if that makes sense. So now you say you have $30. Can you get Chilean sea bass? I'm not sure. You're probably right down the cusp. Maybe that starts at 35. But maybe you can get tilapia, or maybe you can get flounder, or maybe you can get swai or something like that. So the price point dictates your options. And a lot of people process that we're giving you a price. And if you tell us too high, then you're going to be paying more money for the same thing. That is not how it works at all. When we learn based on what you share with us, your investment level, it gives us the ability to know how we can go. Now, do not go to a restoration. I have a lot of people do this, and you say money is not an object for me. A lot of individuals do that. Money is not an object. I don't have money issues. And then once we start putting those numbers to you, now, oops, we just found out that money is a thing for you as well. Money is an object for you as well. You want to really sit down and you want to think about, what could this cost? I'll just give you some basic numbers. So a car has four systems. You want to think in your mind a minimum of 25 to 50,000 per system. That way you got your brain right. You understand what this could cost. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to cost that for your particular car. I share with individuals all the time. If you know if your car is jacked up, so body, metal, all that's one system for the keep things simple. So let me give you what these four systems are. One is going to be the interior, so we're just going to keep it simple. One is going to be the exterior, we keep it real simple. And one is going to be the chassis itself. And one is going to be everything related to mechanical. Those four systems, we just keep it simple, keep it basic, so everyone can wrap their mind around those four systems. So you take those four systems, you're going to be anywhere from 25 to 50,000. If you're 25, your restoration is probably $100,000. It's very difficult to go to a professional center, a restoration company, and get your car done. Now, what qualifies when I say a professional center? And I'm not being mean or anything. I'm not talking about someone who does it himself, who works at a company, but he does it on the side at his house underneath his garage, and he restores cars at his house. That's not really what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone that has a brick and mortar location, someone that has staff, someone that is subject to compliances with the state and all of that, because there's just a certain price point. And those shop rates are going to be a minimum of $70 an hour normally. $70 an hour, and they can be as high as $120, $130 an hour. But the key part I want you to really process is each one of those systems are probably going to be $25,000 to $50,000. And that's just easy money. That's easy math. That's not real complicated, and it can be a combination of that. So one area could be 25,000, one area could be 50,000, one area could be 25,000, one area could be 50,000. Well, now you're at 150. Two areas can be 50,000, one area can be 25,000. Now you're at 175. But you really need to process what this can cost. And now the last thing I hope I'm helping you. The last thing I'll go over is, what does it look like at the end? That's the other problem that I see individuals are having. So right here, this is a level 1 restoration. This is a level 2, and this is a level 3. These are different cars. These are different products. Well, it's the same thing here. And these are just charts I created to help you. That's level 1. That's level 2. That's level 3. See how it goes down? Okay, that's level 1. That's level 2. That's level 3. And what happens is, individuals want to sit at the back of the plane when it comes time to pay. So when they're negotiating price, they want to sit at the back of the plane. But then once they get in the air, then they want all the features that you get from first class. And that's kind of what happens sometimes when you have a miseducation on what it takes. So I find a lot of individuals, so they'll get a car built here. You may pay $200,000. But then you look at the car as if it's down here. And you're like, oh, this car doesn't have this, and I saw one on TV, and this doesn't have that, and that. I mean, look at the amount of hours that can be involved in that particular car. So your time and your time investment is going to be very, very important. So I would advise you to find a company. Most companies like mine and others, we're going to do consultations. We're going to do consultations with you. My website is not designed to be flashy and do the dance and all. It's not designed to do that. I'm an educator. I like to teach people. I like to empower you with restoration. That's my platform. That's what I do. It's about redemption and rejuvenation, and that's the platform we're all on together. So when you go to my website, there are tools there, and others as well. We want you to learn. A lot of my clients, before they come to me, they've been following me on social media sometimes for 6 months to a year. They'll spend hours on my website just getting educated. That's the real key. I have my team to put in a new contact form, and that new because I've been getting so many questions on the basic stuff. So there's a contact form. You go through that contact form, and it's designed in a way to help you answer certain questions, and it's written in a way to help you understand how much this could cost. And so I can teach you that pretty fast, how much this costs. That's 4 systems, $25,000 to $50,000 per system. That's pretty fast. But the part that's going to take time is, well, what do you get for that? You know what I mean? What is going to be the end quality? You know, you go to a fine dining restaurant, let's say Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in New York. You go to the fine dining restaurant, and what you'll find is he's serving chicken just like KFC. But his chicken costs $200, and KFC, you can get a whole bucket of chicken for $20. So what's the end result of the product that you're getting? And so all of these have an end result. This end result is not that end result. That end result is not that end result. And what I find is that individuals really don't understand what the end result is going to be. So I want you to get educated. I want you to use our tool, use our site as much as you can. Get educated on what we do. Ask as many questions as you can. Many of the fans of our page, they're shocked when we respond back. My entire team, there's multiple people, they respond to Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case is. Now, we don't respond to foolishness, of course, but if you have a real legitimate question, we'll do our best to get you educated, because that's what we want. Our job is to plant seeds of restoration across the earth. As long as we plant those seeds of restoration across the earth, we know the good Lord is going to bring us ours. We're going to be fine. So you don't have to come to me to get your car restored. I just want you to love this industry. I want you to be empowered by this industry. I want you to enjoy the journey. I want you to love the journey. But it's hard to love the journey if you don't know what's going on. Last thing, I got a great friend. He's a pilot. Shout out to JD. JD is the man. You know, I just tell him. He loves to tell me he doesn't have any money sometimes when I want to do some work for him. I don't have much money. I said, man, last I checked, you got 4 airplanes. So you got something, man. And so we joke all the time. But I learned a lot about flying with him, and he takes me around. Sometimes we fly to different cities, but I'm just flying with a friend, man. It ain't mine. But he taught me what turbulence was. And he says, man, it's the equivalent of you driving down a bumpy road. So you're driving down a bumpy road. I said, yeah. He said, what happens if you speed up that car down a bumpy road? I said, boy, it's going to shake your liver loose. He said, exactly. He says, well, flying is similar. And so what happens is when you got this wind coming from this side and wind coming from this side, they kind of fight each other in the middle. You're flying through that. Well, that creates turbulence. And the faster you're going, sometimes the more bumpier that turbulence can be. I say, so what'd you do? He said, a lot of times commercially, they have to get there. Commercially, they have somebody else to pick up. And so they will not slow down when you're in the air with them. They cannot make the adjustments that are necessary. And so you're going to get a bumpy ride all the way there. So he educated me there. So we were flying once, and I wasn't doing too good. He said, a little rough on you, huh? I said, yeah. He said, watch this. We're going to slow down. He said, and then we're going to drop. So we dropped down below the turbulence, and then he slowed down. What a great ride. He said, now commercially, they're not going to do that for you. You just got to hold on, and they're going to get you there. So my family and I, we took a trip to Jamaica. It was the worst ride of my life. So I was on this flight, and it was so bad, my daughter started crying, and individuals are crying on the plane. Everybody think they about to meet Jesus or whoever your God is. You about to meet him today. It was that type of ride. My peace was a little bit greater. And I began to share with individuals the story that John taught me. I said, all the pilot have to do is slow down a little bit. So I looked in the thing where it tells you how fast you're going. It was going about 600 and something miles per hour. I mean, that's moving now. So then I looked a little bit later. Things got a little bit better. Guess how fast we was going in? 495 miles per hour. So I smiled and I said, oh, JD was right. If you slow down, man. Well, that's all I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to help you understand turbulence. I'm trying to help you navigate the turbulent moments of restoration. Because I believe if I can empower you with the right information, when you and your builder, wherever he or she or they may be, when you're going through a challenging part in the build process you don't understand, I hope you understand this turbulence analogy, if you will, and that time will dictate the result. It just takes more time to do certain things. Hey, I hope that helps you. Sabra Johnson, you have a great day.